Today's video is going to be a short video on a few things in and around Denver, Colorado that may interest you. And the first one is the home of Margaret Brown, better known as Molly Brown, and even better than that, known as the Unsinkable Molly Brown. As you can see from the sign out front, Molly was a survivor of Titanic disaster. She was referred to as Molly in a book that was written about a year after the Titanic sank, but most people think of her as Unsinkable Molly Brown, and so much so that it was listed in her obituary column as such. Molly was a socialite in and around Denver, and that came about because her husband, J.J. Brown, which was James Joseph, made it a fortune in the mining industry. I'm not going to be taking the tour today of the house, but I will let you know that it ranges anywhere from $18 to $22 a person, depending on if you do your self-guided tour or you have them do a guided tour for you. I find it interesting on how Molly Brown ended up even being on the ship Titanic. She was actually in Paris visiting with her daughter there, and she got word that her grandson was sick, and she wanted to get back to the States, and she would take the first ship that would take her back to New York, and that was going to be the Titanic. Ooh. Here you're getting a view of what Molly Brown actually looked like. And it also has on the steps a former owner of the house name and all. And we'll go around the edge of the house just a little bit. But as I said, I didn't take the tour today because we're fixing to head on to another stop to see a few things in Denver. Before the next stop, I will add, they said that in 1894, when she became the owner of this house along with her husband, they gave $30,000 for the house, and in today's market it's worth over $1 million, they said. Our next stop is to look at some murals. There's a section of Denver that has a lot of mural art on it, and it's hard to get a parking place in lots of it, so we'll just take a fast glance at a couple of them that we could see here. And then our next stop, we did get a parking place, and we're headed to what's known as the Dairy Block. And I love the way they've got this. I don't know if you want to call it a mural or just artwork or whatever, but it is a giant milk can, and it looks like it's pouring the milk to hit on the sidewalk there. And as you look down, you see the actual splash of it. And this Dairy Block location, as you'll soon see, has something else connected to dairy. But anyway, they have a lot of artwork and signs and stuff like that you'll see, but it has lots of restaurants and shops, gift shops. But as you take a closer look there, I don't know if you paid any attention or not, but the lights are actually little milk bottles. And here's a closer look at the milk bottles they have as lights that light up the alleyway. Here's a form of flower art that they've got. And as you can see, there's lots of seating outside by the restaurants and stuff, but it was almost 100 degrees that day, so not a lot of people out getting out in it, and I didn't stay too long in it myself. There's one section, though, if you look to the alleyway, it's got the pink and blue lights that I thought was rather pretty in that section coming off of it. But they also have a thing that if you turn it up, it will play music, and it has the you crank it around, and it lists the song that it's playing. And some of those are easier to turn than others, and there I've given it a try, and I won't play the music out because I'm afraid it may be a copyright song and I don't want to get in trouble for that. And next was a weird looking mural that I came up on that I thought had a different meaning maybe, I'm not sure. You can tell it's got a pair of eyes, but if you look in between it, the way it comes out, it almost has a butterfly appearance or something to it, so it's kind of different. And that's just about gonna wrap up a fast little look at what's down on Dairy Block. While we were in Denver, we stayed at Chatfield State Park, which is a wonderful park. The campsites are really nice and all. It has a lake, and they've got benches around that you can just sit back on the days it's cool enough and watch the boats. They have quite a few sailboats that, as you can see here in the state park. And lots of trails to walk. Next, we headed on over to Estes Park area and get a glimpse of the Stanley Hotel. As I mentioned earlier, it's a very hot day, so most of this day was spent driving around just glancing at stuff. And Estes Park is about 65 to 66 miles from Denver. And that may bring back memories when you take a look at the Stanley Hotel, as it was the in the Jack Nicholson movie The Shining, which gives you a very scary look at things. If you remember the movie, Shelley Duvall, which played Jack Nicholson's wife, became afraid of him, and she had a right to be, because even an axe coming through the door would make any wife scared. It is like, I think, $10 to park there unless you're a hotel guest, and the rooms are really expensive if you stay there. And this, I think, is maybe like an event type addition to it. Now on over to Rocky Mountain National Park, which is in Estes Park also. And we went into the visitor center as it was the 4th of July weekend and was getting ready to go into the park. They had such a line you couldn't get in till later in the day. So spent a little time looking around to see what they had in the visitor center. Have a lot of nice bronze statues to show you what kind of animals you may see in the park, as well as they had a gift shop there, of course, and adjoining to it was a place that you could eat and a gift shop. So I'll give you a little look at some of the animals if you're up in the park thing that you might come across. I found the little visitor center section there was very interesting. It's very educational about the wildlife and all, for adults as well as it would be for children. And of course they always have stuff to attract the attention, and as we look at this bronze epic statue here, you can see there's a gift shop over there with books and different things. We were still waiting because it took us, we had to wait like probably close to an hour before the entry time for us to go in, because it was on a time thing today. And so we walked around in behind the visitor center and all, and just thought this looked real peaceful with seeing the brook there. And even though that we pulled out of the visitor center about 5 to 10 minutes before our time slot, you can see just how busy the line was ahead of us. As I give you just a few glimpses of the Rocky Mountains here in Colorado, I'd like to say thank you ever so much for watching my video. Hope you've enjoyed it, and certainly hope you have a good day.